making the rounds on all these portals. A story about how very soon we'll be able to use our Ghana cards to get car loans. Right? There's apparently one company that has already committed to doing this, and the vice president was talking about it at KNUST over the weekend. That's the theory. And I want to make this point quite clearly. That was always the theory of doing this Ghana card and digitalization and all that, right? The point was supposed to be that with one document, with one number, your identity and your permanent location would be confirmed, right? So a bank knows who you are and where you are. Which are the two questions every person wants to answer before they lend you their money, right? We are made to understand that banks find it just more lucrative to lend money to government because they know who government is and where government is, so they will get their money back. But when they lend to individuals, to small businesses and so forth, it's harder to identify us, so the debt defaults are very high, and as a result, it's unattractive to banks to lend money to us. So the theory here is that the Ghana card will solve that problem, and then everybody can access loans, and it's just like how it's done in other parts of the country. Another important part of the theory is that if you default, then you can be penalized, right? You will be restricted in accessing several social amenities and so forth, because it is the same Ghana card you have to use to access them. And then when you go, it will flag up that this person owes money, so they cannot access this, they cannot access that, right? Which are all supposed to be incentives for people to pay their debts or keep their repayments on schedule. That's the theory. Now, the Ghana card has, well, at least it's almost achieved one thing, which is identifying Ghanaians, okay? That one unique point of identification with your biometrics and all that. That is almost achieved by the Ghana card. But has it achieved the goal of locating Ghanaians? Today, when you go to your bank to open an account and they ask for your Ghana Post GPS location, you can write any letters. Do they check? Do they actually check to make sure that the address details you put in are correct and they belong to an actual address and that you live at that address? You didn't copy it off somebody's wall to come and write it down. So in reality, the location part of the job, I am not satisfied that it's been done. So I don't know, if I was a bank, whether I would feel comfortable to lend money to someone who I can identify but cannot locate. So the theory is still sound. The practice is, we are yet to get there. Anyway, this one company says they will do it, which means you can now go and buy a solar taxi or whatever and go and do taxi business with it. All right, good luck to them. But the idea here is that the digitalization is supposed to yield dividends for all of us, open up the economy, help us access all of these services. Are we there? Or is this still theory? Well, I mean, yeah.
You say you use a Ghana card to get my car for me.
Oh, no, that's...
Will Toyota take it?
RAV4, baby.
For the avoidance of
The
doubt,
new one.
this is basically saying that we are going to establish a proper credit bureau. That's basically the story. The Ghana card and the other things, I mean, they are just additions to establishing a credit bureau. But I thought we had a credit reference bureau already, with 2 or so companies registered. So today, if I want to negotiate better terms with a bank, I go to any of these institutions, ask them for some evidence of how I've been doing and whether I've been paying my loans in times past. So I'll take it to you, the bank, and say, listen, this is my history, and this is how I've been performing. It's the same credit reference bureau that if a bank gets interested, because there are 2 key issues here. If the bank is interested in knowing whether Kojo Yankson pays his debt, it goes to the same institution. They check Kojo Yankson's history with payments so that they will check that. If it is to be expanded by proper identification, perhaps that would make a lot of it. But of course, the link is a very long drawn one anyway. The other point though is there are 2 main issues with giving people loans. 1, adverse selection. 2, moral hazard. if this in any way connects with the adverse selection, whether or not we'll be able to determine whether Jojo truly deserves the thing, is it location and the details on your Ghana card that can show that? Really? Because the elements of adverse selection, any serious financial market person will tell you, identifying the person is not enough at all. So yes, credit reference bureau might be a sensible way to go. I would think we should be expanding what's currently existing. It's not everybody. In fact, generally, banks are supposed to suspend the people who are willing to work into the institution for loans. The presumption is that they are the ones who do not deserve it. It's mostly the guy who really should be giving it who should be giving the loans are the ones who are not pushing for it on the way, and that is basically none. So I mean, for sloganeering purposes, it sounds like a very good point. But nobody can read this morning and say that next month or soon, the soon that they are put there, no, it will be very soon. I can buy you the Toyota Mamavi, unfortunately. Yes.
I don't know. All these stuff are they just for election purposes? You know, like we've said before, like bring the full policy, like what it is, so that we can look at it in totality. I want to believe that this is one of those election promises. You remember the Ghana card na for the kotofu no who could do for station on man watch on Ghana card and in a bit of no. I don't know, man, Charlie. And you why do you and you Ghana card, massa.
You see, of course, today, the vehicle, companies that are giving out vehicles to people to use as Bolt or Uber, Yango or what have you, you pay a certain amount daily. They service it for you. I don't want to mention names because it would look like
of course.
They service it for you.
Once they put camera in it,
Yeah, they do all of that for you to make sure that the vehicle works. So this is the point, and Raymond, you've made it, so I won't get back to it. I mean, we want to establish a proper credit system in this country. The Ghana card would definitely help. That's not in doubt. But the other point is you must be credit worthy to be able to get it. Okay? If I don't earn enough to be able to buy a car, I cannot buy a car.
Whether or not I have
Ghana card or not, I won't buy the car. If it's a taxi that is work and pay, you can do that. Of course, they can, with your Ghana card, they will do that. They can actually put trackers on the car, and that will be the end of it. So it's not as if you, Raymond, you're going to be buying any car of your choice tomorrow because you have a Ghana card. I'm not sure that's what the Vice President is saying. I'm not sure that's what he's saying. Because even the RAV4 you are talking about, Toyota says they have credit agreement with their finance partners.
Yes.
So you can go and do that. But this is to say that the whole challenge of not knowing people, making it difficult for people to be found because you have a Ghana card, and that was the whole idea. We wanted to identify people, no problem. But having identified you also, you must be credit worthy. If you are known to be defaulting, you won't get the loan. There are people today who are known but can't get loans because they've defaulted in the past.
Yeah.
And so, all of these things, of course, in Ghana, when we start a conversation, they throw out things and it becomes news all over the place. Oh, because of Ghana card, you can buy cars. Hold on a minute.
Fix the fundamentals.
Hold on a minute. Today, the Bank of Ghana has told all of us that lending to the private sector is reduced because the banks are interested in short-term investments. What are these short-term investments? Government of Ghana, treasury bills. We know them already. So I think that the story just made it but also you can understand the politician. He wants to make a reference to something that he's championed. So a Ghana card and these solar taxi would also need some commitment from government. You see the details very soon.